experience for them. You wanted to ask a question? If we have a mic, there's a mic coming down from behind you. If you keep your hand up. That's it.
Thank you. If these spirits are of a higher order, what's their motivation? Why do they want to have... I always just imagine that the spirits who are influencing us are from a lower position.
No, they're not from a lower position in many cases. Firstly, there are spirits in what you would classify to be an intermediate position in the spirit world on the natural love path. So between the second sphere and the fourth or fifth sphere of the spirit world, many of their motivations are that they feel they're doing you a favour, or they feel they're doing the earth or people on the earth a favour. Does that make sense? And they feel strongly attached to the favour that they're performing. In their discussion with the leaders of the oneness movement this morning, that's one of the big feelings they had of sadness, was how much they believed they were doing a favour when it wasn't actually favourable in the long run to the persons involved. And there was a lot of quite deep emotions they had about that. Now, they began, a few months ago, the spirits in the oneness movement, who are the leaders of the oneness movement, were in the sixth sphere of the spirit world. They had to go to the third sphere of the spirit world to learn quite a lot of things about the divine love path. And then they mentioned, at the fourth sphere of the spirit world. And that was a very, very difficult place for them to go, to realise they go back. And as anyone would hear from the channeling that was done, they also had quite a lot of emotions about it. Like the male part of the two, he was very, very concerned and sad about the damage that he's done because of the different choices he made when he was in the sixth sphere of the spirit world. And the lady involved, she was being confronted with a lot of emotions of dominance of the male that she did not deal with, but she was still in the sixth sphere. Because you can be in the sixth sphere state, in a state where you have intellectually dealt, you think you've intellectually dealt with everything, and yet there are still causal emotions within you that need to be resolved. And this is the problem, is that many of the spirits who are doing it from quite base emotional conditions that they're ignoring within themselves. And the way they ignore it is the same way many people on the natural love path here on earth ignore it. They go around being this wonderful person who's loving to everybody, but in reality not understanding that there is these deeper emotions driving their condition. And their condition is really a facade in a way, because it's not real. So that's why we can only grow to the sixth sphere in the condition of natural love in that manner, because beyond that, everything has to get much more real. And we talked about that as well, how it's better to have 10 people on earth who are unified at the soul level than it is to have 10 million people on earth unified in a facade, right? And this is the trouble, is that a lot of times things are looked at the facade level, not really understanding what is going on underneath the play, what's behind the scenes, actually manipulating things and what is actually really going on. So today what I would like to do is present to you what is really going on for the majority of these people, and for the majority of the people who are involved in, and who are felt to be gurus on the planet. And then what we can do is compare that with what kind of development you have ahead of you. Does that make sense? So what we want to do is look at the difference between real development and development that is only a facade and actually is not as real as it could be. And you will see some very big differences between those forms of development as I illustrate them to you through these examples.